Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a stack of source material about a particular phone, the OUKITEL WP39 Pro.
Right.
Our plan is to really unpack what these sources are highlighting, what they say makes this phone stand out.
According to the material itself, yeah.
Exactly. And just a heads up, if this sounds like something you're looking for, there's a link in the description where you can learn more, or, well, grab one.
Good point. Okay, so diving in. What's interesting is how the sources kick things off. It's rugged, obviously, but they immediately talk performance.
Oh, really? Not just the toughness.
No, straight into the processor, the MTK Dimensity 6300, 12 gigs of RAM. The material claims this gives it a flagship-level speed.
Flagship speed. In a rugged phone, that's a bold claim from the sources.
It is. They present it as handling multitasking, even, demanding games pretty smoothly, which, yeah, is notable for this kind of device.
And capacity. So I was thinking about storage.
Oh, yeah. The sources make a big deal of the storage. 512 GB built in, that's massive already.
Right. And you can add more.
Yep, expandable up to 2 TB with a TF card. The material really emphasizes you can carry, well, basically everything. Photos, videos, work files without sweating the space.
Okay, that makes sense for people potentially off-grid or needing lots of data on hand.
Absolutely. And then there's the power story the sources tell. It's quite something.
Let me guess, big battery.
Enormous. 11,000 milliamp. The documents highlight some pretty wild usage times, like 75 hours of talk time.
75 hours, okay.
Or get this, 60 days on standby.
60 days, wow. That number from the sources just jumps out at you.
It really does. They also mentioned 33W fast charging, so it powers up relatively quickly, and the OTG function.
Ah, so it can charge other devices, like a power bank.
Exactly, which, as the sources suggest, seems genuinely useful if you're out in the field or away from outlets.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so massive power. What about the screen and just, holding it?
Right, so the sources detail the display. It's a 6.6-inch FHD plus IPS screen. Pretty standard specs, 450 nits brightness, which they say is decent for outdoors.
Okay.
And they mentioned 1,217 BOX speakers for audio, but the design point they really emphasize is the thickness.
How thick is it? Rugged phones are usually bricks.
Well, that's the thing. Sources claim it's only 15 millimeter thick.
15 millimeters.
Yeah.
For an 11,000 milliwatt rugged phone.
Yeah. The sources highlight that as being, like, uniquely slim, maybe even the world's slimmest for that battery size and a rugged body.
Huh. That's surprising. A detail that definitely makes you think about the design choices they claim.
And they do mention the expected rugged features, too, like reinforced corners, anti-slip grips, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. So it looks the part, but maybe not as bulky as you'd expect based on the sources. Yeah. What about cameras? Usually a weak point on these types of phones.
The sources actually detail a pretty comprehensive system here. It's a quad camera setup.
Quad. Yeah.
High-res 64MP main camera, a 32MP front camera for selfies, and then specialized lenses and 8MP night vision.
Night vision. Interesting.
Yeah, and a 2MP macro lens for close-ups.
So based on the material, you're getting quite a bit of photographic flexibility, not just point-and-shoot toughness.
That's the picture they paint. And connectivity seems modern, too. 5G dual SIM capability.
Good. And OS.
Android 14 out of the box. Plus, the sources mention comprehensive navigation. GPS, Glonass, Galileo, Beidou, and NFC with Google Pay is included.
Okay, standard conveniences. But let's get back to the core thing, the ruggedness. The sources mention those IP ratings and military standards.
Right, IP68, IP69K, and MIL STD 810H.
So what do those actually mean, according to the sources? What can you do with it?
Well, based on the descriptions, IP68 means it handles water submersion. IP69K is about resisting high-pressure, high-temperature water jets. Think power washing.
Okay, serious water protection.
And MIL STD 810H is that military standard. The sources imply it covers resistance to drops, shock, dust, vibration, extreme temperatures, basically built for tough conditions.
So the sources are definitely positioning it as a device for demanding jobs or, pretty extreme adventures.
That seems to be the core message for durability, yeah.
And quickly, security. How do you unlock it?
The sources list a side fingerprint sensor and AI face recognition. Pretty standard options.
Practical, especially like the sources might imply if your hands are dirty or wet.
Exactly.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the picture the sources paint of this OUKITEL WP39 Pro is, well, it feels like it's trying to be a bit of everything.
It does seem that way.
The material suggests you get high performance, that massive battery, serious military-grade toughness, but all in a package they claim is surprisingly thin.
Yeah, the combination presented in the sources is definitely intriguing. Makes you wonder.
What's that?
Well, if rugged phones, according to sources like these, can really deliver this level of performance, battery life, and manage a slimmer design, how does that start to shift what we expect from durable tech overall?
That's a really interesting thought to leave people with. Does capability always have to mean bulk? Something to ponder.